Well, good morning. Well, it's afternoon. I can't remember. I want to invite everybody in. Yes, it's me coming live from the car. Say, why are you coming live from the car? That's another story in itself. We went to church this morning, but then after we left church, my aunt invited us to her church. So we went to her church, and the girls are in there with her, and we're out here going live. And the title of this show is Open Mic, by the way, Open Mic topic. It's my 2 p.m. Cruising is fun anytime, I'm sure. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the topic of the show is, are women really needed if it's a man's world? Because at 4 Central Standard Time, JNS, I won't be there. I'll be in the background doing something. I don't know. Probably taking a nap. It's going to be all men up on the panel. It's going to be Dre from Dre and Michelle, tripping with Dre and Michelle. It's going to be Eddie Lugo. It's going to be Z. It's going to be Ocean to Ocean Bruce. And am I missing anybody?
House of X Entertainment.
Oh yes, how could I miss them? The fashion, the fashion people. You know, I can't miss them. House of X. Thank you, thank you. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Which I have my heart monitor on for 30 days. I've had it on for 5 days, 4 days. So I have 26 more days to go. Yeah, 26. I tell you what, a bummer. Um, Listen, I've talked to you about where I am. I've gone to 2 church services. One is still going on. So I should be really churchy, churched up. I should be really, if God haven't spoken and touched my heart today, I don't know who's going to touch my heart because I've been our church and now I'm in my aunt's church, but then we couldn't get back to the west side because we stay on West Beach. She stays in the middle of the island, so it's about 10 minutes from us. So we just said we'll go sit in the car because her church is still going on. Yeah, really. So, my question to everybody that's in the chat. Oh, I got a guest. Okay, how do I pull them up?
Hey, everybody, and hello, Z.
Well, hello, Z. Let me tell you, are women really needed? I just want you to answer that question because at 4 o'clock, the topic on JNS is it's a man's world, and
Is a female. Uh, for those of you who are watching this show, yes, I am 56 years old, and I'm single. So
and ready to mingle,
I'm
and
ready.
he
No,
can't mingle. He can't mingle. Guess in the chat, he gotta mingle with somebody. So is a woman really needed? Is the question, Z?
okay. Okay. The question is, and my father told me a long time ago, if you're not responsible to be in a relationship, do not be in. If you don't have a job or a career or your house or apartment, you're not ready for a relationship. You got to get your life straightened up before you get into that kind of relationship. And he told me that when I was in my 20s and 30s. And I said, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. And 30 years later, I'm still not ready for a relationship. I know it's real lonely, but yeah, I'm not. physically, and this gonna be difficult for a lot of people. Spiritually, I'm not ready because, like I said this for a fact, when I was in junior high and high school, I had a youth director say, "Hey, you know what? You need to save yourself for marriage." And I kept that song around for almost 35 years, more than that. But yes, that's what it's all about. I'll keep myself to marriage. It's been long. It's been very difficult, but he was right. He was right.
That's good advice.
All the people that said, "Man, you're stupid. You're doing all that stuff." But those of my friends who said that are divorced, or it's a crime, or they're in jail, or they have 5 different babies for 4 different women. So
Speak.
to answer your question, is a woman needed right now for my situation? No, I'm not mature enough to have.
And Z, let me just break in because I was on Miss T with the T, her live about a week ago. And see, I guess it's our age, okay? It's our age, men your age, that I didn't agree with anybody on her panel, but I agree with you. The
Mhm.
men were saying, and the women were saying, this is what, and it might have been their age. But what if you get with a man that has no money, but you compliment him? There's not that kind of money in the world. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yes.
Um, I agree what you saying. I really, really do. Now, what your dad gave you was basically the same advice my mom and dad gave me.
Mhm.
You know, um, you're so true. That is, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Because on this show, like I said, the men were saying, well, a woman um, can do this and that, but they wasn't really saying, you know, anything other than putting women down that don't want
Mhm.
a man that's not got nothing. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah,
They were
I
really,
you know what?
you know,
They should have put me on the panel because I would tell them straight up, hey, if you're not responsible for yourself, how you gonna be responsible for getting into a relationship that you're not mature enough to deal with? I mean, there's a lot
and
of
you can't
men,
take care of your own responsibilities. And you know
right?
what?
I mean,
I put that in the chat. I did.
mhm,
I did. I put it in the chat and I meant it. I meant what I said. And I didn't take it back. I put what I felt. You know, I disagreed with everybody on that panel, and I said it must be my age that got me disagreeing because what is a man gonna do while I'm out there working 3 jobs and
mhm.
he at home? That don't
Well,
make no sense to me.
well,
That don't make no
see,
sense at all.
well, back in the day, and it should be right now, but back in the day, a man is responsible enough. My dad said it basically. If you're gonna be in a relationship, you need to have a full-time job. You need to have your own place. A lot of these young men are right now living with home with mommy and daddy, having girlfriends, and having 5 different babies for 3 different
Baby
women. That's not
moms.
gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's a downhill spiral, and a lot of people don't understand that it is the downfall of the American family because there's no common sense whatsoever. Nowadays, they say, "Hey, I don't need no man to tell me what to do or what to do," but they always depend
Right.
on. I cannot say what I want to say, but I'm going to try to keep it real. I got to keep it real, and a
And
lot of
you're
these
keeping it
people.
real. You kept
Mhm,
it real for 35 years. You
yes.
kept it real.
I'm still
and
Christian.
it's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Before
Yeah.
I met Jeremy, I was keeping it real. I was keeping it real. Hey, I can work, I can do. What do I need a man
Yeah.
for? I
Yeah.
was single when I met. Well, yeah, I was single when I met him. And I was like, oh, okay. Plus, we had a lot in common as well. He went to church. He knew the Bible. I mean, we have a lot in common. He's a good provider. And I don't know. We've been having not to work ever since we met each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And we're not doing anything illegal.
We could talk about this all day long. I would say the facts. Today's society don't care about the American family. They don't care that the father and the mother are in the same house with their kids. They do not care about that. That's why you see the crime everywhere. They had a couple of shootings in Dallas a couple of days ago, and most of the kids.
Did you see the shootings in Alabama? Was it Alabama? It was somewhere. They had a mass shooting, and they had two. One last night at 10:30, and they had another one. I can't remember. I saw it. Well, I didn't see it. What happened? Our Alexa app tells us the breaking news on CNN, and I didn't. I just caught it because we had to rush on between churches, and I caught it just a little bit, and I said, "Man, 4 people got killed last night."
Yeah, it's very sad, and most of these people that are shooting are raised. They're not raised right. They are not raised right. Remember, this did not happen in the 70s, 80s because I keep saying it. A lot of people make fun of me because I'm saying you got to have a solid family home, a mother and a father.
Foundation.
A foundation, absolutely. And here's the thing: a lot of people say, "Well, we'll be the teacher, man." No.
You got to have a foundation.
Your man needs to teach your boys to be men, and these people are not doing it. I hate to say
And
it.
that's what they say in church. What do they say in church?
I'm so glad you asked. Hey, Z.
Yes.
Okay, the Bible that I read, okay, it says, how can the enemy come into a strong man's house unless he first bind up the strong man?
Yes.
Now there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things at play that can bind up a strong man these days. Inflation being one of them. I think it was Jennifer or Andrew that said right here. Oh, it's Jennifer. It says Andrew and I work equally as hard for everything we have. I work 40 plus hours, and so does he. I think in today's, it takes both to make it these days.
That's right.
Okay, so thank you for shedding a light on that. Everything is 4 times the amount, and wages have not moved. Let's be real. Let's keep it real. If we want to keep it real, that's one thing that's binding up the strong man is not being able to afford anything.
Well, yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So let's keep it absolutely real. That's what's binding up the strong man. Another thing too is the removal of prayer from school.
Oh, absolutely.
The strong man cannot raise a strong boy because you got to be careful what you say in the school system.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing that is binding up the strong man, I could go about it all day too, is the fact is government overreach into our homes. Z, I used to go to school with marks on my legs all the time because I, as a young man, messed up and I got my butt whooped.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The bottom line is they will not let us mark up kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to jail. Otherwise, you're going to jail. So here's what's happening. the man has his hands tied. And nowadays, what I'm talking about, the man in the house has his hands tied, and the kids are wild as hell. Okay, they're just wild. All right, you can't tell them nothing, because then all they got to do is go run tell that at the school, and next thing you know, you got police and social workers beating your door down for something that happened in your house that is the children's fault. Okay, and you can't say nothing or do nothing. So yeah, plenty of things these days are binding up the strong man.
Well,
Let's be real about it.
I'll be real. I'll be 100% real.
Yeah,
When I was growing up,
that's my opinions.
well, my dad told us when we were growing up that before him and my mom got married, they did not have sex or whatsoever. My decided, hey, if we're going to have kids and we're married, I'm going to have a solid job. Not working at McDonald's, not working at Walmart, or not working a part-time job. You got to realize you got to make money to raise these kids. You cannot do it doing a part-time job. Most of these guys are doing a part-time job. Hey, get off your butt, get your full-time job. They all start. Everything starts at the home. When you raise your kids, you raise your kids. For example, my dad worked military, but he worked 40 hours. My mom stayed home until we got to school. We came home from school. My dad took over. My mom went to work. So they can't tell me, oh, there ain't no jobs out there for us. You got to get off your butt. You got to get educated. You cannot just quit school and don't learn anything in school. You got to get your high school diploma. You got to be working during the high school. I had a job. A sophomore in high school, I had a job. I worked.
I had a job in high school.
I had the job working throughout my high school, part-time job. But when I graduated high school, I had a full-time job. My father said, as soon as you graduate from high school, you got 6 months to get an apartment. He said that. And these people.
Okay, tell me who's in.
Well, we got some people in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in the chat. Hello, thank you for coming in. We got, let's see, starting at the very beginning of the show, we had Z Show Cruise Fun. Hello, Z. We had Derek's Journey, Mike and Rihanna Family Vlogs, Destination Fund, King Morgan, On Deck with CB, Embarkation Nation, Always Tam Tam, Midlife Travels, The Virginia Bushcrafter.
Man, we got a lot of people here.
Yeah, a lot of people came in.
That's good.
And
That's
Canadian
good.
Family Life. Hello, welcome in everybody.
Come in, everybody, and let me explain why we're doing this. We went to our church this morning. Then my aunt had a program at her church, and we're sitting out front in the parking lot at my aunt's church, and the girls are in there with her. And we're going to go back in there because, you know, it's a Baptist church and it stays a long time. So
Yeah, there's some
back
Baptist. Well, I got to stop with that, Cheryl. There's some Baptist churches that do that. Our church, we got time schedule. We got 3 churches services. One starts at 9:15. The other one starts at 10:45. We always get out between 12 over 5. Always. You know why? Because we love to eat. All Baptist churches.
Yeah, they're going to have dinner. That's why we're not going
have
home.
lunch.
That's why
we got to eat. You know, a lot of churches in our area gets out at a certain time. You cannot find anything to go eat. But I need to get back to the situation we're talking about. I like to talk about this.
Okay, but wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute because I got to pay the plug. Okay, the title of this show is A Woman Really Needed? Because at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, JNS, but I won't be there. The S and JNS won't be there. It's an all-male show. Let me tell you, the name of that show is It's a Man's World. And I was confused because I thought a woman was needed in a man's world. You know, So, but because I'm not going to be there, it's all men, and they're going to be talking about cruising. They have a
Mm-hmm.
rookie cruiser that's going on the family reunion cruise September 2nd, and he's fearful. Now, he and Eddie Lugo have a lot in common. This guest that we're having that needs a little more up on the cruising situation. He's already booked. He's already got his room, everything. But he's scared to be in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
He is
Mm-hmm.
fearful of being on the ship. But he's got some cruise experts. He's got Ocean to Ocean. Bruce, who's coming to us from the Panorama.
Wendy Webster just met it in. Hello, welcome in.
Then he's got Dre from Tripping with Dre and Michelle. He's got Zeke. He got House of X,
I'll put
who
it
I
up.
know, and he's in Brooklyn. I mean, he's in Manhattan, and House of X is in Brooklyn. So at 4 p.m., y'all, Central Standard Time, y'all come back, get on GNS,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to listen to what these men got to say, okay?
Yes, we
Because
got.
I am curious. I am so curious.
We got a
Okay,
lot.
back to you. You
Okay,
got a
so
lot to say.
I got a lot to say about this. I got a lot to say about this, and I know a lot of people gonna get angry with me, but I'm gonna say it. It is 2023 is the downfall of the American family. Digital downfall of American family because the government says, "Hey, you don't need a man. No, you don't need a woman. The government's gonna provide."
Drop the link
But
in there.
that's not true. It is not true. You need to get off your butt, get a full-time job, then you'll get married, and then you can have children. It works throughout history, but in the past 20 or 30 years, the government say, hey, you don't need this. I'll give you money. You stay home. Or I'll give you money, you have an extra kid. And the kid suffers. That kid actually suffers. Prime example, my family, I'm the oldest kid. My sister is the youngest kid. And basically, they were raised their kids like my parents raised us. As of right now, my oldest niece graduated high school. She got a full ride scholarship for LSU, academic and a soccer scholarship. You know why? Because her parents teach their kids the difference between right and wrong as kids. Now you're gonna try to raise your kids as a teenager, it's not gonna work. They always said in a way, it starts at the beginning. 3, 4, 5 years old. Start at the beginning. And these parents right now, oh, my kid is fine. I'm gonna give him a science degree. Oh, my kid is fine. I'll give him a video game. Let them take care of it. And it's a fact that parents are not being responsible to raise the kids. I see it over and over and over again. Especially these preachers and shooting. The guy
That's true.
the guy that went to that private Christian school. I don't call what it is, but he is a guy, 28 years old, living at home with mommy and daddy. That's the problem. That's a total problem. And you don't want to talk about it. The government doesn't want to talk about it because you know what? They're gonna let the government take care of it. It's the parents' responsibility to take care of the kids. Not the government, not the schools. If the schools are not doing it right, go to another school. But you gotta teach your kids at home before
Yeah,
they go to
it
school.
starts at home.
It starts at
I
home.
believe that.
I could go on all day long, but okay.
Yeah, it
But yeah,
starts at home.
so the subject was the yes. to be a solid family, and Jeremy said it starts in church. It
And
starts in church.
another thing too that we must be mindful of is that all of us grew up before the invention of the internet. Okay,
That's not Jeremy. I
we
got
allow
before you continue. I got to stop with that. The internet is a tool, but if you use it the wrong way, which parents nowadays say, my kids acting out, I'm gonna put the internet. You don't put the internet in your house if you don't want. If you want to control your family's life, put the internet, put the computer in the living room. If they have devices, give them a time schedule, 30 minutes to an hour at the school, and then shut it off. If you don't do that, your kids are gonna go crazy. So the internet,
yeah.
my
I
sister
agree.
does that.
If you're gonna have devices, you got to know how to work them suckers too.
Yeah.
You can't just hand a child a device and not have parental controls on it. And if you want lessons, on how to do that, I would be more than glad to do a whole live stream on how to parental control your children's devices.
Because our kids can't even download.
Right. Right. And another thing too is the question that baby asked is a woman needed? I don't know that that's the question being asked here. The question, because this is God's design. God's design is it is not good for a man to be alone, unquote. Yeah. Okay, and that's why He created Eve in the first place. Is because he saw Adam struggling on his own. Okay, and He put woman here. Now, is a woman really needed? Yes. The clear cut answer to this question is yes. And I know we went into the kids discussion, but let's knock the kids out just for a second. Let's say it's just a man and a woman. Is a woman really needed? Yes.
Yes.
Is a woman really? I think her question might have been, is a woman really desired? Okay, it all depends on the man's desire. If you want to be, by yourself, which you are, and you seem to be doing pretty well. See, a lot of men can make it without a woman
because you were doing it.
I was doing it,
With kids.
Yeah, but we're not talking about kids right now. Okay, we're not talking about kids. What we're talking about is a woman really needed? Since she changed the topic. I think the topic was, is it really a man's world?
Oh yeah, this is true.
That was the title of the.
I couldn't read my writing.
Yeah. So I'm supposing that a man is really needed to read the writing on the thumbnail. The thumbnail says, "Is it really a man's world?" And I'm gonna pass the phone because I don't want to get in trouble.
I'll take this side, Jeremy. I think it's this side, Jeremy, because
Cheryl can come up here and
beat me up.
See,
here's the thing.
Not scared.
I mean, here's the thing, Cheryl, and a lot of people gonna get mad at me. In the Bible, it says the man is the head of the house. Now, the women's ego say, "Hey, I don't need no man to tell me what to do." But if you're in a relationship, you must compromise. But he is the head of the house. The man is responsible to provide for the family. The man is responsible to have that stable job. The job is more important. If you want to be in a relationship, I don't want a woman to take care of me. But it might be nice, but I don't want it. I got to have a full-time job, a career. There's a difference between a full-time job and a career. If you have a career, you can afford to be in a relationship. Do you agree with me, Cheryl? You ought to be pampered, right?
I love to be pampered.
You ought to be pampered, right?
My whole family spoils me. Somebody said that last week, right?
Yeah. For example,
my kids, my grandkids, my husband. Oh man, they all spoil me. It's like spoil.
And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like that. A lot of these women these days say, "Hey, I don't need no man. I can make my own money. But if you make your own money and you're dissing your man because you're making a little bit more than he is, that's trouble for a relationship, period. Because when it comes to money, money can destroy a marriage. You got to believe
It
that.
can. It
It,
can.
it's happened to a lot of my friends. A lot of my
And
friends
that's
say, "Hey,
why that's why it took me a long time to get married because
mm-hmm,
I was making the money.
mm-hmm,
I didn't need a man, you know.
mm-hmm."
But then Jeremy came along and blew my mind and asked me to marry him in church, and I couldn't say no.
We got some more people in the chat here. We got Cruising Scene has made it in. We also
Mm-hmm.
have Scrow's Nest.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
We got Roxon filling up the
Mm-hmm.
bucket.
Oh, filling up the bucket. I
Filling up the
love
bucket
them.
made it in.
Mm-hmm.
And the Virginia Bushcrafters is actually speaking on the topic here. A woman is imperative.
Oh my.
Okay, so yeah, that we got some agreeing going on here. We got a PSV has made it into the house. Hello, welcome in.
Oh, I gotta tell PS something.
Okay, Embarkation Nation also said something else. In today's world, it is expensive to live on your own, and if mom and dad are okay with it, I don't see where it matters. We moved back home to restart for a few years and to get a better start. Okay, I agree.
But yeah, I agree. I agree about 100%.
Yeah, I need to tell
here's
PSV something really quick.
Here's the thing, real quickly, and a lot of people gonna get mad at me. If a man cannot support a girlfriend or a wife and still living at home, I have done that. I have one years ago. I could not support myself. Went back home and reorganized and got me a better job, and then I left. My brother is 2 years younger than me, 54 years old, and still living at home. The reason why he was living at home, he's met this woman, this girl, whatever you want to call it, and they had a falling out in his brand new car. The woman got so angry, turned the wheel, and wrecked the car. He lost his job. Apparently, both of them were drinking and driving. He lost his job. He got arrested, got DWI. He had to move home. That was in 1995. To this day, he's living at home. You know, my mom passed away. He's still living in a house. So, no, if you're not responsible as a kid or a teenager, and you're still not responsible as an adult, you need to get out the house. Period.
Yep.
And
I need to tell PS something.
You cannot depend because there's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. If you're a growing man and you're gonna ask this woman out for a date, you need to leave home. You need to leave home. You need to leave home, get a job, support your wife, and then you gotta have a discussion. If we're gonna get married, if we're gonna have kids, how are we gonna feed these kids? I gotta get a full-time job. If she has to get a full-time job, that's cool. But a man is responsible for the financial and the support of the house, the family. He is not. He's the only one that is responsible. And a lot of these men right now are not educated enough to do that because their parents did not teach this dude how to be a man. That's the difference. If you want to be a man, you got to be responsible for yourself. You got to have a full-time job. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot live at home and have a girlfriend. I'm sorry. Because it costs a lot of money to have a girlfriend. It costs a lot of money to have a girlfriend. Yeah, that's
it costs a lot of money to have a man too. It costs a lot of money to have a man too. See, okay.
Yes,
we got some more people that have joined. We got some more people that have joined in the discussion. Scrow's Nest says it doesn't matter if the wife or husband is making more money as long as it is all coming into the same household.
That's right.
Right.
On the other hand, On the other hand, that's why we lost this issue. If the man is responsible, this is my personal opinion. A man is responsible to be the head of the household of his family. I mean, he's the responsible one. He is the very. When you get into a relationship, if you're not right with yourself and you're living at home, that's the thing. If you're living at home with mommy and daddy, you got a problem.
Yep.
You're 24, 25, 26 years old, you got a problem. When you graduate high school, get a job. Part time or full time, get a job. I've been seeing this for years and years. All these shootings and people grabbing guns, kids are grabbing guns because the parents are not doing their job. They're not telling these kids the difference between right or wrong. They're not teaching these kids how to be a man or a woman. Or let me rephrase it. A man, they're not teaching them to be a man or a lady. A lady, too.
I agree.
These days, the time to say, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I don't need no man. I don't need a woman. But you're not responsible enough to take care of yourself. And you get into a relationship, and you get in a relationship that involves having kids. Guess who's going to suffer? The kids. That's why you see these kids going crazy right now. I hate to say that, but I'm telling the truth. Okay.
Okay, I need to tell PSV. I need to PSV Paul. I want to thank you again. And if anyone has a live going on next week, get in contact with PSV Odyssey on Facebook.
Okay.
He does the scheduling
Cheat
for
day.
all of us. That's how we know what time slot we can have, so we won't step on toes or whatever.
Fountain of Inspiration and Butter Roll Boutique has made it into the chat. Hello, welcome in.
Welcome in.
But,
And let me just plug this in, you guys, because as you know, Jeremy and I on a cruise, we won't drink but maybe 2-3 drinks on a 7-day. That's for the entire 7-day cruise. And it might not be him drinking a whole drink, it'll be us sharing a drink. So we share all of them, right? So guess what's gonna happen next Saturday? One of our creators, if you haven't connected to him, I suggest you go over and connect to him. His channel is called Home Bartending with John. Can you drop that link? Okay, Jeremy's gonna drop the link. It's called Home Bartending with John. Next Saturday, April the 22nd, at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, because we have a bar, first of all.
You're not invited, Z.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah,
We
of
have a
course.
bar, and we stock our bar with things that we get off of the ship or in port. And we give them to our children, our grown children, as gift when we come back from the cruise. We to Christmas and give it to them. This last Christmas, they made out big. They got champagne. They got white Hennessy. They got rum. I mean, they got so much stuff.
Miss Queen Sunkissed has made it into the chat. Hello, welcome in.
Welcome in. So next week, we're going to be mixologists with Home Bartending with John. And we're going to be tasting, that's right, we're going to be tasting our drinks. We're going to be tasting our drinks. And we want you to come along with us and taste with us. Except for Z, you can't taste nothing.
I'll be drinking water or Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, you
Water
can
or Kool-Aid.
You can mix up some Kool-Aid. But that's about it. You can't mix up nothing.
Oh,
And also, I
absolutely.
want to tell you, we have Facebook pages, absolutely free to join. Absolutely, just join and come on board because all the creators can post, and I mean all the creators can post to our Facebook page. It
Right.
is JNS Adventures Group. Mine is simply called Cruising is Fun Anytime. And you just come on in and post your stuff, your hauls that you have, your cooking, all of this. Post it to Cruising is Fun Anytime because it's for creators. And that's
Yes,
what we are.
absolutely.
We're creators. Z
Absolutely.
has a show. I mean, has a Facebook page. His is private, but you know he'll check you out to make sure that you are who you are. With us, we have to just welcome you in. You know, that's it. That's all. We're not gonna do any checking until you do something bad. Like I don't know. I don't know what could be bad. But please come over to our Facebook page.
Yes.
In the chat here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and handle that.
Okay, that's great. But I don't want you to miss us drinking what we mix. We'll be mixologists next Saturday. We're getting ready for the cruise. We go on a cruise in how many days?
34.
34 days. So we're getting our mind and body ready for our first drink, which is usually a rum punch. But I don't know if it's going to be a rum punch on the celebration. I almost said that word. On the celebration. You know, yeah. And then this is what I found out. All the lost luggage or unclaimed luggage that's from the airport, they have a museum now. It's called, and you can Google it, Unclaimed Baggage Museum. And you can shop online. We saw that on the news.
Man, I feel honored. We had our first troll in the chat today.
Yeah, maybe because we were talking about relationships and cruising. Relationship, and you guys at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I can't say it enough because the title of JNS's show is called what?
It's a man's world.
They can't hear you.
It's a man's world.
They can't hear you.
So y'all see what I'm talking about?
It's a man's world. It is
a man's world.
Don't make me
at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And what it is some experienced cruisers are going to talk to a rookie cruiser, first time out. And he's on the September 2nd Mardi Gras cruise. And he's fearful. Fearful, I tell you.
Oh, snap. We got F.R. Humphrey and Clock Family Adventures, and Yo Brooklyn has made it into the house.
See, I don't have to talk about Eddie behind his back. I just
you mean
Eddie
my
is one of the experienced. Okay, Eddie Lugo, because I don't want to just say Eddie. The name of the show is Eddie Lugo Studios. He's one of the expert people in the chat. That at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and what they're going to be talking about is what a man needs on their first cruise. You know, clothing, all this stuff. It's a bunch of stuff that I don't even need to know. I won't be on the chat because it's a man thing. It's a man's world.
Okay.
You know? But it's going to be Eddie Lugo, Dre from Tripping with Dre, Ocean Bruce, C Show, House of X, and maybe Midlife Travels, not sure.
Yeah, Midlife. I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link well into the show. That way you can come up on the panel.
Okay, because
We got Lake and Kisses has made it into the house.
well,
Hello.
hello, Lake and Kisses.
So
Lake
now
and
here's a
Kisses, let me tell you, you and Queen, you know, at 4 o'clock, the topic is it's a man's world. But right now we're talking about what's the topic?
Oh, Mike Clark wants to make it into the panel also. Yeah,
Okay.
you're more than welcome. I'm
You're
gonna
more
drop
than
it.
welcome, Mike.
Yeah.
And
Well,
wait a somebody. I don't
before
know. Eddie is here.
Oh, Eddie's here at the stream.
oh,
And then close
okay.
it out.
Okay,
There we
this is Eddie. Y'all look at these faces, y'all. These are people that think it's a man's world. Okay, I I mm, I just gotta hit my head like this. My husband. I'm not even gonna be on the show today at 4 o'clock. It's a
Yes.
man's world, and I tell you, it's gonna be good. You know, you got
Yes,
to
I
know
mean,
that it's gonna be a good show at 4
yes.
Central
I'm gonna
Standard
be.
Time.
Is that a quickie?
That's
It's
right.
yeah, see, it's going off the
It's
rails.
going off the rails.
It's going off
Hey,
the
No,
rails.
it's not going to be
oh,
a quickie. We're, we're going to have a good long show.
Yeah.
It is. I'm going to open it up to open mic after all of our primary guests have had their chance to, say something. But I am going to drop the StreamYard link mid-show. That way we can get some more people up on the panel and try to get young cruiser comfortable with getting out on the water.
Yeah, he's very
All right.
uncomfortable. He's
So before,
booked. He got his cabin, everything. His cabin is by our cabin. Their cabin is right by our cabin, and it's in the front of the ship. Trust me.
all right,
It's in
so
the front of the ship.
Mike is trolling Eddie in the comments. He says we
yeah,
could have
yeah,
did
well,
without.
he
Oh,
gonna do that. Yeah, he gonna do that.
Eddie must not see the comment.
No,
Hey,
he's on
don't
his
forget,
side.
Oh,
we got some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to say this,
okay.
this is the biggest breaking news in the year I've been on. I have lost my neighbor. Warren Shawn Adventures would not be my neighbor on the Carnival Jubilee.
Oh man,
What happened?
Apparently, he got frightened with me and he upgraded to another room. And
Wait a
basically,
minute.
he said,
You
You
said,
said
it.
it.
Wait a minute. You said the word Jubilee.
There it is.
Jubilee. So he's having fun on his cruise. He's having fun on his cruise. Basically, he wants some money on the cruise, and he told him.
Yeah, I heard him won some money on the cruise.
So he has upgraded. He's not gonna be. You know what? That might be a good thing because there might be a person that's single that is a female. Just
And
saying.
needs tomato.
Yes. But before we continue, I got a couple of announcements real quick. Starting tomorrow, we're doing our show. Cruises Fun Anytime, JNS Adventures and the Z Show. We're going to continue with the weekday show at 9 a.m., 8 a.m. Central. And then after that, at 9:30 Central Time, we will be doing the wrap-up show.
Wrap
But
up.
here's
Ready.
the thing. After that show, I got my 50 subscribers on my gaming channel. And guess what? I'm going to be playing some video games live. It'll be Android. It might be it might be Xbox. It might be some computer games. But yes, thanks to you guys.
Congratulations.
So that's gonna be all day event. And then in the afternoon, it'll be Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello. That means myself and Eddie Lugo will be doing the afternoon show. And we're taking over. I'm telling you, we're gonna take over. Because we need to get some hours. We're gonna take over
Yes.
all day, every day. Now, before we get out of here, I know we got about 11 minutes. I got to continue with this subject, and it's a big one. Eddie is one of those guys I want to talk about. For those of you who want to know, Eddie's been sober for almost 23 years, and then God
24.
said
I thought it was 20.
24 years. Sorry,
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello,
Because that's a
24
major
years,
accomplishment.
and God said,
It's a
"Hey,
major.
since you've been sober for a couple of years, I'm going to send you a young lady." And then young lady probably sitting right there next to him. And God does wonderful things. After we act out like being stupid people, like we always are, and you quit something like Eddie did, God's going to say, "Hey, since he quit that evil stuff, what he was doing back in the day, I'm going to reward him. I'm going to send him a beautiful lady to be in his life." Am I correct, Eddie?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Okay.
And Alice is beautiful and wonderful.
So that's what I'm saying. And anybody agree with me? Back in the day, we had parents that whip our butts if we do something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I always talk about this with Cheryl. I would say discipline is gone. The American family, the nuclear family is gone because the government wants to say, "Hey, you don't need him. You don't need her. Let the government take care of you." And that's why we have all these knuckleheads running around crazy, shooting everybody. It's sickening to watch. And the parents will say, "Oh, I did not know my son was doing that." Yes, you did, because you raised him, or you tried to raise him, but you did not. Now, these people that were shooting at people, their parents should be locked up because they didn't do that freaking job raising their kids in the story.
Okay, you want to take over while I go get my purse? Okay, I have to go get my purse. I left my purse in church, but I'm going to hand over and tell them about your show at 4 p.m.
See, that's why a woman is needed. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap up this section by saying that in situations where a man is ready, okay, let's never mind all of the other distractions and all of the other things. Let's say that the man is ready. Yes, a woman is needed to remind us about everything that we done forgot about. But here's the reality. As long as both people are pulling in the same direction, it will work. If you got one person pulling, most of the weight, or if you got, the other person who is, doing other similar important things, then if they both go toward that goal of being successful, a successful couple, then it will work. So yes, I do believe that a significant other is needed, just to simply tell you that, yeah, you had a bad day, but let's try it again tomorrow. Let's try to work through this thing instead of you trying to do it on your own. I know that I would be really bad if I didn't have baby in my life. All of us got our stories, we all got our testimonies that we can share. But as far as I'm concerned, a woman is needed.
Yes, absolutely. No, and the thing
Every
is,
person's
with our
journey is
relationship different. Yeah, I understand. But here's the thing about this. For example, if a young lady, a young mom is going to church and the husband is not, there's a problem. If your kids are going to church and the parents are staying home, that is a problem. Basically, that is a problem. And a lot of people are not going to church. There's a lot of people not going to church. Now, the society says, "Hey, you don't need church. You don't need religion. You don't need God. Let us take care of you." That's why the society is so messed up. And
this coming from the same people that want you to constantly feed the machine, where people have to work on Sunday. We're all just hamsters spinning the capitalist machine, and we're all feeding into it. That's the way that the nation was originally born. It's a capitalist nation. It's all about capital and money.
Yes.
So in order to make that good money, sometimes people have to work on Sundays, or a lot of the times you got men and women that work 12 hours a day, and it still ain't good enough.
Yes,
Because of capitalism.
I
Let's be real.
I don't think it's capitalism. I think it's the decision of anybody that wants to get a job. I know it's hard to get a job, but you got to think about it before you want to get into any relationship. You got to have a job that you could have a full time job. Doesn't mean 12, 18 hours away. Full time job could be like 40 to 45 hours a week. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
If you have that, if your wife, I'm just saying, society in general say you don't have to be married. You don't have to have a
Mhm.
liquor in your house. And that's the problem with society right now. Society says, hey, you could have this. Oh, you don't need that. We can teach your kids what to do. And it's the parents' responsibility to take care of the kids. That's all I'm saying.
I
And
agree. I
they're
agree.
not doing it 100%.
Um,
And a man is
and
responsible.
I'm
Mhm.
going to repeat what I said to back up my claim. Everything, all the way from milk to gasoline, has quadrupled in price, but wages have not moved.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's a
Wow.
problem.
Now, Jeremy, you
That
know
is a
what?
problem.
You know what? Me and Jeremy, you need to be a special guest on the Z show, on my first show. We could
Uh-huh.
have some good discussion,
Oh
but
yeah.
about that, real good discussion. I mean, a lot. But we'll get off the subject. But yes, a I won't say a woman. I say a lady is needed. For example,
Ladies are definitely welcomed, and you can find ladies all around because they're still living, and the
yeah,
lady era has not officially ended.
well, it's,
You can
it's been
find
very
real
close.
men,
Yes.
because the men have not disappeared either. But
Mhm.
the more we get replaced by these new idealistic things,
Mhm. Come
the
on.
the more it's going to be different. I wouldn't say
Mhm.
it's better or worse. It's different. And yeah, you
It's,
got the man working, you got the woman working. They working 80 hours a week and still barely able to scrape by. Okay,
yeah,
that's
but
frustrating.
Yeah.
That is
that's frustrating.
frustrating, Z.
It's it's frustrating, but you also think most of that is not happening. Most of these, they just say it. Most of these, when they start a family, are not thinking before they start a family. It's
I
called
agree.
kind of.
I agree with
They,
that.
they
I,
say,
I, I
"Hey,
do.
I'm gonna have a kid, and I'm gonna let somebody else take care of it." That's
Yeah.
not right. That's not right because a lot of people hate that when I'm saying that, but it's not right. And a lot
And
of people say,
also
"Hey, you gotta have to be
you got my
responsible."
generation. I'm going to speak up
Mhm.
for my generation. I'm a Generation X. I will tell my age. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
Generation X. We are the me generation. Okay. We look out for ourselves
Not
because we disagreed. We disagreed with the classic traditional American family to begin with
mhm.
because of how we got burned. Okay. Our butts was burning. Our parents were fighting. Prices were raising. The woman had to just now start going to work. And now all of a
Mhm.
sudden you're letting yourself in the house at the end of the day. You're not getting homework done because you got to cook for yourself. You have to
Mhm.
do a lot of things by yourself as a child these days. And that's what
Yeah.
happened to the American family is the mama got removed from the house.
Yes.
The
Yes.
mama got removed
Uh-huh.
from the house
Mhm.
because now
And what's the replacement? The replacement is daycare. Should be a felony. If you want to
daycare
have,
ain't daycare
yeah,
ain't nothing. What they do is they
yeah,
put you in front of the TV and they ain't teaching you
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I mean,
Daycare is a
we,
joke.
yes, it is a joke.
It's
It's a waste of my money.
a
A waste.
joke.
You know how much daycare costs for each
A
child?
lot, a lot.
Here's a solution to if you want to have your kids in daycare. It's
Yeah,
called parents and grandparents. Listen
yeah.
up.
The village.
Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. You don't put your kid in daycare because you're gonna let society tell you your kid what to do. That's not right. It's a criminal offense. I'm just saying. We talk about all this.
We got voices coming in the car, y'all.
Okay, we gotta be
Speaking of
cool.
kids, they coming
We
in.
got yes, but yes. Tune in tomorrow. Tune in in a couple hours. The Man Show will take over. We'll take
Alrighty.
over.
I'm going to catch you guys at 4. I'm going to go ahead and end the show now. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And remember, we love you.
Peace out.